safety is uppermost. Passenger safety cannot be compromised. And therefore, it's very clear that unless certified engineers say that this plane is airworthy, that plane cannot fly. And that's what DGCA has done yesterday. Now, what happens to airline, I think DGCA has called the CEO of the airline and some other officials. He'll discuss with them what their plans are, and then he'll send his report.
Okay, time for us to take a quick break, but come right back because we'll be getting you details on index biggie Reliance Industries, which may be deferring investments in the oil and gas space until the government agrees to get rid of a cap on the prices of natural gas and approve its capex plans. More details in just a moment.
Well, not just that, Manu is the director and CEO of Centennial Asia Advisors. He'll be joining us in just a bit.
The right environment for your company is a place where innovation comes naturally. Visit idaireland.com.
मारा तो डरना क्या थोड़ा हीरो बना तो डरना क्या ओ ग्लैमर ही है कोई चोरी नहीं है जरा फिल्मी बना तो डरना क्या
business, I need to look professional no matter what. Job done. Note the new way. Samsung Galaxy Note 800.
I'm waiting for your call and for the move to release me from the longest afternoon.
वेलकम आइए 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 बैठिए बैठिए बैठिए। अरे पुष्पा, अपने इंपोर्टेड वाला एसी तो ऑन करो भाई, और चाय वो सिल्वर वाले सेट में ही लाना, और कुकीज जो मैं लंदन से लेके आया था वही सर्व करना। ये भी इंपोर्टेड है।
अंकल, क्या आपके पास डिजिटल केबल कनेक्शन नहीं है?
डिजिटल केबल कनेक्शन नहीं है?
क्या अंकल, आपके पास इतना बड़ा टीवी है और सेटअप बॉक्स नहीं है? सब वेस्ट।
भाई साहब, देश के 4 मेट्रोज दिल्ली, मुंबई, कोलकाता और चेन्नई में लाखों लोगों ने डिजिटल केबल कनेक्शन लगवा लिया है। आज ही सेट टॉप बॉक्स लगवाएं और मजा लें बेहतर डिजिटल क्वालिटी का। देखें सैकड़ों चैनल, चुने अपने मनपसंद चैनल और भुगतान रेट कार्ड से करें। याद रखिए, 31 अक्टूबर 2012 तक यदि आपने सेट टॉप बॉक्स नहीं लगवाया तो आप केबल टीवी नहीं देख पाएंगे।
क्या?
आज ही संपर्क करें अपने केबल ऑपरेटर से।
फिर तो मैं आज ही सेट टॉप बॉक्स लगवा लेता हूँ।
Beautiful smile, Sushmita. But would you like whiter teeth?
Of course, but how?
Do you know germ buildup can lead to yellow teeth? This is germ buildup. Try new Colgate Total Advanced Whitening. It offers 12-hour protection against germ buildup and whiter teeth in 2 weeks. Have you been using Colgate Total?
Every day.
Let's check. Much less germs.
And much whiter teeth. New Colgate Total Advanced Whitening. Whiter teeth in 2 weeks.
Lovely to have you back with us on Morning Mantra on ETNow.
Well, let's once again take a look at what's happening across the Asian markets. So remember, we've got China and Korea, which are shut on account of local holidays. But Japan seems to have made quite a comeback. We are in the green territory right now for the Nikkei. And for the SGX Nifty, though, it's looking pretty weak still at 57.73.
All right, with that, let's bring on board Manu, who's the Director and CEO of Centennial Asia Advisors. He joins us now. Good morning, Manu. Good to have you with us on Morning Mantra. To start with, do you expect more easing measures in China? And what's your view on the economy and risk of bubble there?
My suspicion is that it reflects a well-thought-out strategy on the part of the entire top leadership, and that means Mrs. Gandhi as well as Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. I don't think this is tactical. I think it is a calculated strategy to regain political momentum by changing direction. They are hoping clearly that this change of direction will first of all avert negatives like a potential sovereign downgrade, and maybe create some positives in the sense that by rebuilding business confidence, perhaps capital spending by businesses will recover, and that should give the economy some more push.
Manu, keeping with India then, what's your view on the rupee over the medium term?
Clearly, inflation in India, I suspect, will tend to be higher than inflation in those trading partners of India's. And that really is an argument for the rupee to depreciate in nominal terms against a basket of its main trading partners.
Now, do you expect the RBI to move on rates? And the FM has also urged the central bank to work with the government.
Yes, I think clearly given the rising risks to growth at the global level as well as domestically, I think the bias will be towards a very judicious, calibrated easing of monetary policy.
Talking global then, Manu, how would you be mapping the risks from Europe as well as the United States?
Well, the main and immediate impact on Asia is really through the mechanism of capital flows. The volatility of capital flows affects our economies through the impact on our balance of payments and on currencies, on asset prices. This volatility is creating some difficulty for central banks in terms of managing liquidity and the external accounts. But these are problems I think that we can manage. The second impact, which is really becoming quite pronounced now, is clearly the impact on export demand. And everywhere from developed Korea to commodity-driven Indonesia, we are seeing fairly precipitous drops in export growth or even outright contraction. So the trade mechanism is clearly kicking in. And in addition to that, we have the impact through commodity prices affecting the prices of raw materials like crude palm oil or probably economically sensitive raw materials. And that will affect income growth in some of these countries, and that will affect demand as well.
And how critical are events of U.S. elections and fiscal cliff in December 2012? How do you think it would impact the economies by 2013?
Well, first of all, there's a great deal of uncertainty already in the United States, and as a result, we're already feeling the impact in the sense that U.S. businesses, because of uncertainty about the elections, uncertainty about fiscal cliff, uncertainty about the regulatory outlook, uncertainty about Obamacare and healthcare and all the costs entailed, are holding back on capital spending, holding back on hiring already. So these events, although they're still about a month away or more, are already having an effect, and it is slowing the U.S. economy.
Right, and Manu, what do you see happening on account of the stimulus measures announced by the government? Do you see more flows into the emerging markets or even commodities?
Well, the Federal Reserve has clearly committed itself to substantial injections of liquidity into the system and has pledged to continue this for a long period of time. I think in the context of a system in the United States where credit demand remains weak for a variety of reasons, there will be excess liquidity, and this liquidity will tend to flow into financial assets. And to some extent that will spill over into emerging market economies and markets whose financial markets are shallower and less able to absorb these sudden spurts of capital flows. So I think it is inevitable that emerging market economies will receive more liquidity, and central banks in these countries will find it more difficult to manage these. I think it's something we just have to learn to live with.
All right, Manu, we leave it at that. Thanks very much for taking out the time and sharing your views with us. Moving on now, Reliance Industries may put investments in the oil and gas exploration assets on hold until the government agrees to get rid of a cap on the prices of natural gas and approves capital expenditure plans. Instead, the company will focus on 3 sectors: telecom, retail and pharmaceutical and refining, and could also invest $20 to $25 billion from 2012 and 13 to 2015 and 16. The move to scale down investments in new exploration and production projects comes even as the Mukesh Ambani-led company concluded an agreement with the Venezuela's state oil company Petroleas de Venezuela to invest $8 billion to develop oil fields of the Orinoco oil strip in Caracas last week.
Meanwhile, leading two-wheeler maker Bajaj Auto has reported its September monthly sales data, and the sales numbers are largely in line with analysts' estimates. In fact, motorcycle sales are down by 15% at 3,15,314 units, and the commercial vehicle sales have declined by 4% to about 44,900 units. Now, the company attributes the 15% year-on-year drop in its motorcycle sales to the delayed festive season this year.
Well, on to some deal news. Now, Kumar Mangalam Birla's hunt for coal assets continue. Sources tell ETNow that Birla Group is in negotiations with Coal of Africa to buy their thermal coal mines worth $215 million. For the Birlas, the original plan was to buy a substantial minority stake in the company, but it lost the bid to a Chinese company, HEI. Coal of Africa is an exploration company listed in London, Sydney and Johannesburg. For Birla, it's in line with their strategy on natural resources, and with coal deallocation worries looming large, Birlas surely have more reasons to hunt for coal overseas.
Okay, time for another quick break, but come right back because we'll be chatting markets once again with Vijay Bhambani this time around.
This show brought to you by Friends Adult Diapers, dignity for the aged.
The market upswing has begun in full throttle, so get some money-making strategies from our participants on BNS and the stock game. Our guests this week are Gaurav Ratnaparthi, Madhumita Ghosh and Ashish Kapoor. Catch the thrilling game of portfolio building on BNS and the stock game only on ETNow.
Brought to you by GE Works, moving, powering, building and helping to cure the world. Murugappa, energizing your life in surprising ways.
धक्का नहीं छक्का ही लगे इस उम्मीद का एक बीमा होना चाहिए इफ्को टोक्यो जनरल इंश्योरेंस
Bringing the world together, building the world together. Binani Cement for generations to come.
In my line of business, I need to look professional no matter what. Job done. Note the new way. Samsung Galaxy Note 800.
I was coming back from the movie and I was waiting at this traffic signal, and suddenly an SUV came from behind and bang, hit into my car. Thank God I was wearing a seatbelt. I pledge to wear a seatbelt always, and I pledge to road safety.
You too can pledge to road safety. Log on to www.marutisaferoads.com.
Thanks very much for starting your day with us on Morning Mantra.
Well, time then to bring on board Vijay Bhambani, who is the author and CEO of PSPLindia.com, to share his view on the markets. Good morning, Vijay. Good to have you with us on Morning Mantra. First things first, what's the range that you are mapping for the Nifty, key levels to watch out for?
Where the market is concerned, the Nifty saw an inside pattern on Monday, which means that the range of Monday was contained within the range of Friday. It's a narrowing down of the intraday range because we had a holiday staring in the face, and naturally, since the Nifty is trading above close to the inflection point of 57.25, the traders were hesitant to lend buying support. For the coming session, as far as the bullish pivot is concerned, the Nifty spot will have a bullish pivot at 5720, above which a primary target of 5745 and a secondary target of 5750 may be seen. I expect resistance at 5750 levels, and that's where profit taking is likely to be seen. Should the Nifty cross 5750, a new range might just be kicked off, and traders may just need to watch